Having trouble breathing.
Well, you can watch yourself lose later.
My speech is going to a group of people in Bensonville at a council meeting. These people are homeowners and parents, and I would say 50% of them are Spanish. Hello, my name is Joanne Marshall, and I've lived in Bensonville for over 23 years. I became aware of the crime situation here when my oldest son went to Fenton. He went to Fenton as an A student, very interested in sports, and within 2 years, he was a truant, and he was running with a bad crowd. He was also on pot. Fortunately, we were able to recognize his problem, get help from good sources, and turn his life around. But I know many of you are facing that same problem with your children. This happened back in 1982, and Bensonville has started to slide downhill so that it has the reputation of having the biggest crime rate in all of DuPage County. Even today, there are only 35 policemen in Wooddale for a population of 17,800 people. 1,200 crimes and more serious crimes are committed every year. That is a ratio of 32 crimes to every policeman. Wooddale, the nearby suburb, has a ratio of only 9 serious crimes to every policeman. Crime can be controlled in Bensonville if we care enough to do something about it. There are 2 ways we can work along with the village authorities to fight crime. First, we can learn the techniques that are necessary to protect ourselves and our children and our properties. Second, we can join forces with our neighbors to protect each other from fear and from bring a sense of pride back to Bensonville. If you're thinking, I'm just one little person, what can I do? Well, let me tell you what you can do. First, there are several publications and programs that teach you how to take security measures to protect yourself and your belongings. I went to the Bensonville Library this week and I found this book. And it's the latest on the market. It was printed in 1993. The author is a former Marine firearms expert, and he also had a partner helping him that was a Green Beret. Now this book is really far right. They're recommending that we use guns. They're just this side of the law. I hope that people here in Bensonville won't ever get to have to need these approaches to solving their problems. There are some good ideas in here, though. Also, there are pamphlets put out by private industry and the government that are much more our cup of tea. These are put out by insurance companies, lock companies, and even drug companies. They'll tell us the way to secure our homes in the proper way, to make them safe, and to keep us informed so that we know what our children are getting involved with. The government has a wonderful program that uses McGruff, the crime-fighting dog. This booklet tells us the way to act and react to a robbery. This one tells your children what to do if they're home alone. And that happens a lot in Bensonville, doesn't it? Confidence games and swindlers can come to your door. Know how to recognize them. Know what to do about shoplifting. A good idea would be, if you have a shoulder bag, carry it under your coat. And finally, be streetwise. When you hit a bad neighborhood, if your car breaks down, here are some tips how to handle the situation. Don't leave your car. Get someone else to go to the police. So as you can see, there are ways that you can find out what to do to help yourself and protect yourself from crime. These preventative measures have been around for many years, but the U.S. Department of Justice conducted a study in 1988 and discovered that fighting the fear of crime was actually producing greater results than policing the crime themselves. Let me quote from that study. The element of fear has to do with seeing junk and trash in vacant lots, boarded up buildings, stripped and abandoned cars, bands of teenagers congregating on street corners, public drinking, verbal harassment of women, open gambling and drug use. Does that sound familiar? Do we see these things in Bensenville? Yes, we do, and we can do something about it. Fighting that fear is the area where we must join forces with our neighbors. The village is doing their part. They passed an ordinance recently that helped them to buy up the townhouses that were so overcrowded that it was a breeding ground for gangs. They sold them at reasonable prices to people like you, homeowners who really care about their property and want to take care of it and keep it clean. They remodeled shopping plazas. They widened the streets. They lit the parking lots, so it's a whole safer atmosphere. They got rid of the graffiti on the wall. You can do that too. Don't just pass it by. Take a picture of it, wash it off yourself. We can keep our town clean. Investing money in training police in the latest methods of crime prevention was very helpful also. The crime prevention programs in Bensenville are very good. The puppet crime brigade that the police go to the schools with tells them about stranger danger. The 5th and 6th graders have the DARE program. And there is a pilot program in Bensenville that we can be very proud of. The governor himself thinks it's a great idea. 7th and 8th graders are learning gang resistance. Fenton High School has a policeman at school full-time now. And there is a police neighborhood rec center right in one of those townhouses that used to be full of gangs. My Girl Scout troop meets there. That's how safe I feel there now. In that building, there are educators that come and tutor and counsel the children. It's a recreation area. Children have someplace to go with adult supervision that they can look up to, and they're safe there. But where we can get involved mostly is in the awareness groups in Bensenville. There's the Drug Alliance group and the Gang Task Force group. It's made up of community leaders and interested citizens, just like you. Their accomplishments are many. They produced a film that tells people how to recognize gangs in the area. And this film can be brought to your home. You could see it on your VCR. And it's in English and in Spanish, so you can understand it. There are also town meetings that the gang force has brought out. One had ex-gang leaders speak to the people so that you knew that what they were talking about was from their own experience. They told people how to recognize gangs, how to see what colors they used, how to recognize their graffiti on the wall. And the thing that I heard that really surprised me was that in spite of the name of these gangs, they are made up of all races. In fact, the Spanish Cobras, who got kicked out of Bensenville, was led by a white boy. They are made up of whites, Spanish, black, even Asian people. It's not a race problem. It's a problem that involves us all, because these children have to know there's something better to do. The good work of people has got to continue, and we have to be a part of it. Become a leader. Be a scout leader. Join the WATCH program. This was the group that helped to get the gangs out of the townhouse area. It reads in your window, if I don't call the police, my neighbor will. They meet monthly. They find out from the police what are the crime problems that are current. They know what to look for, so that when they are seeing something suspicious, they report it to the police. There's also a mobile watch that will have people using cars. If we are able to eliminate fear in Bensenville, we must be aware of what is happening in our community. Crime can be controlled in Bensenville, and if we care enough to do something about it. There are too few police to do the job alone. We have to help them. Show your family and your town that you care.